Well, good morning, everyone. Welcome to our latest edition of Tune In Tuesday. And again, it's a beautiful spring day outside, but just like everything, things are changing. It's going to be a beautiful day today. Tomorrow, rain, then cold after that. Springtime in Ohio. How wonderful. Anyway, did want to just again share some follow-up information from our sermon Sunday, this past Sunday, and also again some announcements. Well, this past Sunday we talked about Judas. And again, it's kind of a strange thing. We all kind of understand or know a little bit, about Judas, no matter what our experience in church has been. His name has become, again, very synonymous with betrayal because he's the one who betrayed Jesus. But we really looked at, kind of some of the reasons behind, possibly why, and made some application for ourselves. But what I want us to think about just a little bit today as we think about Judas is following his betrayal of Jesus. In Matthew chapter 27, beginning in verse 1, this is after the arrest of Jesus and his trial before the Sanhedrin. It says, "Early in the morning, all the chief priests and the elders of the people came to the decision to put Jesus to death. They bound him and led him away and handed him over to Pilate, the governor. When Judas, who had betrayed him, saw that Jesus was condemned, he was seized with remorse and returned the 30 pieces of silver to the chief priests and the elders. 'I have sinned,' he said, 'for I have betrayed innocent blood.' 'What is that to us?' they replied. 'That is your responsibility.' So Judas threw the money into the temple and left. He went away and hanged himself." Now that's such an overwhelming picture of what we see Judas doing. We see his realization that what he had done was wrong, that the depth of what he had done, of the sin that he had committed. He said, "I betrayed innocent blood." And he tried to make it right on his own. He tried to go to the people and return the money and say, no, I want to undo all of this. But we know you can't unwind the clock. You can't go back and make it like it never happened. And Judas then reaches this point where he decides, I'm giving up. I'm giving up. The only thing he knew to do at that point was to take his own life. Well, right before the passage we started at, in Matthew chapter 27, verse 1, right before that, in chapter 26, beginning in verse 69, we read about another time and another disciple who fails in his relationship with Jesus. It says, "Now Peter was sitting out in the courtyard, and a servant girl came to him. 'You also were with Jesus of Galilee,' she said. But he denied it before them all. 'I don't know what you're talking about,' he said. Then he went out to the gateway where another girl saw him and said to the people there, 'This fellow was with Jesus of Nazareth.' He denied it again with an oath. 'I don't know the man.' After a little while, those standing there went up to Peter and said, 'Surely you are one of them, for your accent gives you away.' Then he began to call down curses on himself, and he swore to them, 'I do not know the man.' Immediately a rooster crowed. Then Peter remembered the words Jesus had spoken, 'Before the rooster crows, you will disown me 3 times.' And he went outside and he wept bitterly." Now think about this. Here we have Peter, who has denied 3 times that he knows who Jesus is. He's denied 3 times that he's a follower of Jesus. Even as Jesus predicted Peter would do. And yet Peter swore to him, "Lord, it's not going to happen. I'm never going to do that." Peter and Judas both, in a great sense, betrayed Jesus. They sinned against Jesus. And we see sorrow from both. Peter going outside and weeping bitterly. Judas, again, it says, he was seized with remorse. So we see an accurate response to realizing when we have failed God. But there's quite a difference. Judas goes out and he hangs himself. He gives up. Peter, meanwhile, even though he's overwhelmed with his grief, he goes outside and he weeps bitterly. Yet we don't see him giving up. We see him remaining with the disciples. We see him, hopeful when Jesus is resurrected. We see the process where Jesus restores Peter. And there towards the end of the Gospel of John, and we see Peter becoming a central figure in the spread of the gospel. What made the difference? Judas tried to fix it on his own. And because of that, from a human side, he couldn't fix it. And so he just gave up. Now, you might be a person who, you look at your own sin, your own failure of God, and maybe you've given up. You've not gone out and hanged yourself, obviously, but you've just given up. And you've come about with this idea that says, God could never forgive me because, and you fill in the blank. Here's the great thing to know. God can forgive anything. And Peter is the perfect example of that. And so my encouragement for you today is this. Even when you fail God, don't give up. Don't give up. Come back to him. Because his desire is to be in a relationship with you. And again, as we prepare, as we're in the middle of this Holy Week, it's all about his desire to be restored in his relationship with us. It's about Jesus. And this week we have some special things coming up. Just wanted to tell you about this Friday evening at 7 o'clock. We're hosting the Meg's Community Thanksgiving service. Meg's Community Good Friday service at 7 p.m. over in the Family Life Center. And again, same protocols, masks. We'll be checking masks worn throughout. We'll be checking temperature as you come in. Again, be a safe environment for that. On Saturday is our great Middleport Easter egg caper. And again, that's going to be an outdoor event. So we postponed it from this past Sunday because of the weather. But that's going to be then this coming Saturday. It's going to, again, you can start anytime between 2 and 3 p.m. It's going to be going around some different houses or locations within a few block radius of the church here. Again, you'll be going as family units. So again, it's going to be outside. Again, going to be a neat thing. And again, it's an opportunity to once again hear and remember the story of Jesus. And that's on Saturday beginning. You can start anytime between 2 and 3. And then on Sunday morning, again, we have our Easter worship time. Again, that's 10 a.m. And again, we've handed out some invitations last week for you to be able to use to share with people. If you weren't able to get one, we've got some, but also, again, just invite some others to come with you. We're going to be live on YouTube and Facebook, just like we do each week. So if you're unable to be with us, we encourage you to tune in with us and be a part as we celebrate Jesus' victory over death and the grave. So, tune in Tuesday. Hope you've enjoyed it. Hope you've been encouraged to not give up, even when you fail, because God wants you back no matter what. Blessings. Have a great day.